Welcome back to Fast Money. We've got new polling on the big battle over TikTok. CNBC's latest States of Play survey showing only 15% of voters in battleground states feel favorably toward the popular app, while 41% are unfavorable. Reuters reporting today that President Trump's executive order banning TikTok could go as far as forcing Apple and Google to remove it from their app stores. Let's get a reaction from Roger McNamee, the co-founder of Elevation Partners, an early investor in Facebook and Google. You are a current investor in Apple as well, Roger, so the perfect person to comment on this. What would that do to Apple? Because we're not talking just about TikTok, but potentially WeChat, and the impact, I would think, in the U.S. for TikTok and the impact in China on WeChat would be tremendous in terms of sales of handsets.
Yeah, Melissa, I think this is an issue for Apple for a slightly different reason than people believe. So removing the most popular teenager app from the App Store would obviously be undesirable from Apple's point of view, but it is no different than the situation for Google with Google Play. Where Apple has a problem is that China is an unbelievably important market for it. And given the increasing tensions between the U.S. and China, Apple risks being a pawn in that battle. And from a shareholder point of view, that makes me nervous. I think Apple has done an amazing job of balancing itself through all of that, but things are getting really weird right now. And the issues that we're raising about TikTok are actually largely true of Google, Facebook, and also data brokers in the United States. That is, China already has our data. That's not what this is really about. I suspect that deep down underneath, Sarah Cooper and her humor may also be a factor.
In terms of how Apple navigates this, I mean, Tim Cook obviously has a good relationship, or it appears to be a good relationship with the Trump administration, also has a pretty decent relationship with China. And so I'm wondering how they sort of get through this and what tack Tim Cook should take.
I wish I knew the answer. I mean, the obvious answer of this thing would be for the United States to have a less emotional foreign policy relative to China. I don't see any sign that that's going to happen in the near term. And so I do think we do need to be cautious as investors about what the risk is here. And, I think Apple is amazingly well positioned for the issues that are going on right now. The probability of greater regulation of privacy favors them. The probability of greater regulation of other aspects of internet platforms, particularly safety, that also favors them. But the China thing it's unknown. And I don't want to pretend like I've got a crystal ball here. Right. I just know that Apple's in a unique position, and it's got work to do to make sure that it doesn't wind up inadvertently being on the wrong side of it.
So here's the question, the context of the stock being where it is today. If we do find out that the executive order will include actions such as forcing Apple to take down WeChat from its app store, do you sell Apple stock?
So I don't believe that's going to cause a change in my behavior. I think the issues that we're dealing with here go way beyond what's going on with Apple. Think about how our economy is structured. I mean, we built our economy, optimizing for shareholders caused us to move labor to the lowest cost places around the world. And China was that for huge parts of our economy. So Apple has political risk because it's so visible. But I think this is an issue throughout the economy. And China has shown in the past a willingness to target its responses to Trump's actions very strategically at places that Trump needs politically. And you can imagine they have a lot of power right now to target red states, right? Either in agriculture or other things. So I don't want to pretend like I know what's going to happen. I'm just very nervous about it. And I think investors need to pay attention to it as I'm trying to.
Roger, great to speak with you as always. Roger McNamee.
Always a pleasure.
All right, and Guy, that brings us straight to the trade talks, which are supposed to happen at least virtually sometime this week. Roger mentioned agriculture. China still has, I don't know what the figure is, more than $100 billion worth of product that they would need to buy in the second half of the year in order to be compliant with the phase one part of the trade deal.
Yeah, it's remarkable. And, listen, I'll say it again. I want to be clear. I think there needed to be an administration that took on the Chinese, and this administration decided to do that. I think many people would say correctly. I know Tim's been outspoken in this as well. My point has been not that but the fact that the market is looking past the risks associated with that. And to Roger's point, I don't have a crystal ball either. I don't know, but I do think the Chinese will play this in the election, and I do think some shoe will drop at a certain point that potentially could be, could be negative for the broader market. I understand why Apple's in the crosshairs, but I think this has broader market implications as well. Now, as we sit here and we started the show with basically S&P at all-time highs, NASDAQ at all-time highs, Apple adding $1 trillion of market cap since the March lows, everything appears to be fine, so why worry? But you do have to point these things out because they definitely lie in wait, in my opinion.
Yeah. Karen?
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, just think of how iconic Apple is and what a perfect target it would be for the Chinese to make a statement. In the past, I've been concerned about China trade issues, and yet every time the market just doesn't seem to care at all. I wonder if the market seems to think we'll have a Biden administration, that they think they'll have an easier time, or we'll have a less confrontational relationship with China, which the market, I think, would like. But I am long Apple. I'm staying long. I recognize that's a risk. It wouldn't shock me to see some sort of, retaliatory measure. And what's more American than Apple? If you're not going to do it to Disney, I guess do it to Apple.
Right.